Hello and thank you for joining me on this short video, which is a response to today's PBD podcast. That was interview of Patrick Bet-David with Chris Cappy. Chris is an expert in military and war, and this is what he's doing, and this is his expertise, and he's really good at it. However, regarding Iran, there are a few things on this podcast that I wanted to respond to it because it looks like Chris is not familiar with some of the things that is going on with the Islamic regime. Okay, so let's watch a couple of minutes of this interview, and then I'll talk about those few points that they need to know about.
How deep, and again, I don't know how much research you've done, how deep do you think Mossad is in Iran?
I think the best evidence of knowing how deep their intelligence agencies are based on the operations that they've pulled off successfully already. The ones in 2010 where they killed a number of their, I think it was 2010, they killed a number of their nuclear scientists, and the way that they track that is a level of, it suggests how deeply they've just penetrated into their nuclear program, that they have an understanding that Israel themselves have been the ones that have said that they're 2 weeks away from building a bomb. If they had a bomb or they were closer than that.
But Israel's been saying that for many years.
Right.
They're 2 weeks away. So it's either, it's a few different things. Either they have it, which you're saying very small percentage, Iran has a nuclear weapon, because Mossad will be the first to know. Number two, they're 2 weeks away, which has been 2 weeks for about 10 years.
But they have chosen not to. Because
Why?
Iran, for a number of reasons, they themselves have said that because of their religion, they don't want a nuclear weapon. They have, for years, they've insisted that their nuclear program is peaceful.
Okay, so you saw that couple of minutes of this interview, and I want to mention a few things that probably they don't know that much about. First of all, the question was how deep Mossad is in Iran. I say as deep as more than 50 years. You may ask, well, the Islamic Revolution happened in 79, and so it should be 46 years at the most, right? But I say actually it was before that. This is my opinion based on my understanding of what's going on in Iran. So Mossad, and it's very naive if we don't think that Mossad and CIA didn't know about the Islamic Revolution and they were not prepared. They were prepared. And as we know nowadays, based on those people who were with the Islamic regime, and they came out later on, they got fed up, they came out and they talked about the things, the events happened exactly at that time. Okay, so first of all, we know that the intelligence service of the Islamic regime was established by many agents, even they say low-level agents of SAVAK. SAVAK was the intelligence service of Shah, the previous regime in Iran, and they say there were some low-level SAVAK agent helped the Islamic regime to establish the intelligence service. So do you think that Mossad was not prepared for that? Or CIA also, but mostly Mossad. We know that Mossad is the top intelligence service in the world. If not the top, at least is one of the top, one of the most effective intelligence service. Which it should be actually every country, every intelligence service of any country, they should be very effective. That's their duty. And the intelligence service of Iran, not the Islamic regime, I'm talking about the future Iran, it should be very effective too for Iran. So naturally, they were prepared and they knew what was going on, and that's why I say they are deep in Iran for more than 50 years. And as we know, many intelligence services, but especially Mossad, they plant a seed many years before they use it. Okay, so they are prepared. And during that 12 days war, they had a lot of drones in Iran. It's probably unbelievable for you if I say they got a permit for a factory to build drones in Iran. Okay, they got permit from the Islamic government to build drones, and they use those drones. Okay, and even their direct agents, not assets, they direct agents, they were in Iran practicing on those drones for 8 months, and then they used the drones. Okay, so go figure. And the other thing was Iran would not build a nuclear bomb or nuclear weapon because of their religion. Chris, unfortunately, you got this wrong. Although you have a lot of knowledge, but this is not because of their religious belief. Because and the other question was if Iran has a nuclear weapon. No, I don't think so, and I'm sure almost 100% they don't have, because if they had it, first of all, Mossad knew about that, first of all, and then they would show it to the world, and they would use it against Israel, because their hatred for Israel, for Jews, is deep in their belief system, it's deep in their religion. And when they say because of their religion they would not do it and it was for peaceful purposes, this is not true. First of all, you don't need 60% uranium, purified uranium, for medicine or peaceful purpose. And then from 60% to 90%, it can be pretty quick. That's why they say 2 weeks away. However, first of all, someone should, like another country, should give them the technology to go from 60% to 90% and then make it as a bomb. So it's a process between these 2 steps or 3 steps. And they don't have it. If they had it, they would use it and they would show it to the world, because as you said, this would be a big deterrent for the enemies, for the other countries, right? So they don't have it, and it's not because of their religion. Actually, in their religion, in Islam, especially in Shiite, they have something, they call it khud'a. Khud'a means deceit or deception. And it's allowed in their religion, so they can use it. And very easy, they lie about everything. In Iran, it's famous, they say, if the Islamic regime, not only Islamic regime, if the Mullas, the clergies with this turbine on their head, in Shiite and Farsi, they call it ahund. In Sunni and other languages, other Iranian languages, they call it mullah more than ahund. So, Iranian people, they say, if mullah said yogurt is white, you should say no, it's black. If they say the sunrise is from east, you say no, the sunrise actually happens in the west. Why? Because they lie all the time. All their life, they lie about every single thing, and they call it khud'a, and easily they accept it. Okay, so and then one thing, that is very important to we, the Iranian people. When you talk about the Islamic regime, say the Islamic regime, don't say Iran. The Iranian people hate it. When the other people, other officials from other countries or some reporters, not some, like almost every reporter, they say Iran, Iran, Iran. It's not Iran. It's the Islamic regime in Iran. And we don't call them Iranians. We call them an Iran. An Iran is a word that in the future I'll talk more about that. An Iran is a word used for other people besides the Iranian. Okay, and these people, like foreigners, okay, like people from other countries, okay, these Islamic regime, the people of the official people of the Islamic regime, not only they are an Iran, not Iranians, they are an Irans, but also they are the worst enemy of Iran. They have destroyed this beautiful, rich country. In the future, I'll talk more about that. However, just I wanted to let you know what's going on. And then, by the way, Patrick showed a couple of minutes of the interview of Arakchi, the foreign minister, about it was interview of foreign minister Arakchi with Fox News, with Brett. I'm going to show you like less than a minute, maybe just a few seconds of that, and I want you to focus on his eyes. His eyes is all the time, instead of making eye contact with Brett, the reporter, the host, his eyes is just going back and forth, up and down on the screen. Why? Because, do you remember Zarif? Zarif was the former foreign minister, okay, of the Islamic regime. And when Arakchi was doing negotiation with Steve Witkoff, it was actually handled by Zarif. Yeah, Arakchi was in front of the scene, Zarif was behind the scene, but it was handled by Zarif. And even for the interview of Arakchi with, at that time, not this last interview, but another interview, I think it was with Fox News also, Zarif said, I wrote that interview in English. And if you pay attention to this interview of Arakchi with Brett from Fox News, you see that his eyes is on the screen, because whatever question Brett is asking Arakchi, Zarif is behind the scene and he types quickly the answer to that question. That's why he is not making eye contact with the host. He's just watching the screen, but because they want to make it kind of natural, there are like different screens in front of him, so he's just watching right, left, up, down, and so just wanted to make sure you know about this also.
Got it. So here's, if you want to play this, Rob, this is the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Here's what he had to say about it. Go for it, Rob.
Mr. Foreign Minister, what is the extent of the damage to the nuclear enrichment program after these attacks?
Well, our facilities have been damaged, seriously damaged, the extent of which is now under evaluation by our Atomic Energy Organization. But as far as I know, they are seriously damaged.
Did the already enriched material survive? Is it accessible?
Well, I have no detailed information. As I said, our Atomic Energy Organization is responsible for that. They are now trying to, evaluate what has exactly happened to our nuclear material, to our enriched material.
Okay, so hopefully you focus on his eyes that is going all over the place on the screen, because Zarif, the former Minister of Foreign Affairs, he is the one behind the scene and he's dictating what he should say and stuff, okay? And he types it in English. And he has mentioned before also that even the previous interview was written by him, and even the negotiations with Witkoff, mostly it was done by Zarif. That's why it was indirect negotiation. Okay, so that's that part. And regarding if you've seen the whole interview of Araghchi with Fox News, this last one, probably you've heard that Araghchi said eliminating Israel was not our policy, was not like the Islamic regime policy, even from the beginning, which is lying, because frequently the supreme leader and the top officials of the regime, they have mentioned in different places. And not only that, after this last interview, Shariat Madari, who's one of the top level people very close to Khamenei, told Araghchi, said, when the supreme leader, this picture, actually it shows that they were talking in one of these events, and Shariat Madari told Araghchi, when the supreme leader says Israel must be eliminated, who are you to say no? Why you said that was not our policy on the interview with Fox News? So go figure. Okay, hopefully you learned something about the Islamic regime and their khud'a, the deceit or deception. They use it all the time and they lie all their life. So this is the regime that we are dealing with. And hopefully you make a distinction between the Islamic regime and the people of Iran, and don't call the Islamic regime Iran or Iran regime or Iranian government or whatever, because they don't have any relation with the people. Okay, so in the future I will talk more about this stuff, but just wanted to let you know. And please go ahead, subscribe to my channel, help me to grow this channel. In the future I'll give you more information, and I'll do my best to be present more frequent and talk to you about Iran and what's going on in Iran, and why Iran is such a strategic place, such a strategic country, not only in the Middle East, but also to United States and the world. I'll talk about that in the future. But if you have not subscribed, please go ahead, subscribe to my channel. If you got something out of this, please go ahead, like it and share it with your friends and family members. Thank you so much, and see you on the next video.